This is Ken's Korner Sports Podcast with your host, Ken Judge.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be on today. We're here. We're not in a season. The season is finally done. We had a finale with Phil Garbutt turning the tables on me and asking me questions about this season, season 4. Thank you. But we are here for our special part 1 free agent frenzy right before free agency starts and the draft as well. I know we do hold number 9 in the draft, I believe, this year. I'm going to introduce who I got with me today, our special guest, and he's starting to get some frequent flyer miles, as JT would like to say. I want to introduce Otis from Sportstalkinthesix from TikTok. Otis, how are you today?
I'm good, and thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. And up there in Thunder Bay, we got our man, JT. JT, how are you?
I'm doing good indeed.
Thank you for stopping building that gazebo to jump on here with us today. And I know how you feel. I've been building decks in my off season here and starting to feel like an old man doing it. My name is Ken Judge, and we're here on Ken's Korner Podcast. And we're going to go jump right into it. Otis, we're going to let you start, and we'll all have our say. What is your premier number one thoughts in what the Maple Leafs should do in this free agent frenzy?
Yeah, so I know it's not probably going to happen, but if I was a GM, I would aggressively go after Sam Bennett. Again, I know it's not going to happen. He's pretty much said that he wants to go back, but talk about DNA change and a second line 2A if they can get the JT one done. Getting Bennett in here would be a big deal for them. The Leafs aren't very deep at center ice position right now, so a little worrisome, but that's who I would go after is Sam Bennett. Just look what he did in the playoffs. He may not score a lot or be as dominant in the regular season, but he's a pretty consistent guy, and look what he did in the playoffs, right? So
yeah, he was MVP, the MVP of the playoffs with those 15 goals. That's the most in quite some time for the now dynasty Florida Panthers. Congratulations to them on that series win, by the way. JT, who is your number one guy to come in for the Toronto Maple Leafs if you were the GM, if you're Brad Treliving?
I would love to see Bennett or Marchand come in. Either one of those two guys. I think Marchand actually, he's been saying a whole lot about how much he grew up a Toronto fan. So I don't know if he's just trying to bait the water out there or whatever. He also said, give me a contract to Florida because he loves playing there. So he likes the hype. He likes the attention. I can see him actually surviving in Florida and Toronto really well. So I think Marchand would probably be my number one go-to. He comes with a higher price tag, but I think Bennett's going to command the same price now anyway. So,
okay, I'm going to shoot off a few names to you guys, and just tell me if you like them for the Leafs. If you don't, then and why. First name is Brock Besser. Otis, your thoughts on Brock Besser?
It wouldn't be my first option. I think if they lose JT, and the reason why I said they need a center ice and guys like Marchand is a little bit more rugged. I think if they lose JT and they lose Marner, then yeah, I think the Leafs will be desperate, and then that's when I think they would go after Besser, in my opinion. So I say no.
Thank you. JT?
Same. I'm not a Besser fan. Never have been. I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would fit in Toronto, and I don't think he would like the hype and the attention that he would garner in Toronto. It takes a special kind of person to be able to play in Toronto, and I don't think he's the guy. He seems to be a little bit too shy and reserved.
Thank you. Okay, the next guy up is his brother plays defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is from Scarborough, and Jonathan Toews, as we know, has signed with the Winnipeg Jets. Is it time for Brandon Tanev to come home to Toronto? Otis?
Yes. Perfect bottom six guy. Exactly what you need. I think he had like 130 plus hits last season. That's exactly the type of guy that you need in the regular season and then moving into the playoffs. So 100%.
JT?
outside of my Marchand and Bennett, he was my number one guy. So he comes in his last contract. I think I got written down here 3.5. I don't know if he'd come in much higher than that. He might come in at maybe 4.5. But like Otis said, that's a bottom six. I'm going to say your third line. Just a crash and bang kind of guy, and he's funny. He's a character, and yeah, I think him playing with his brother would be pretty wicked. So.
Okay, and the last guy I want to mention is he was drafted by the Calgary Flames in Brad Treliving's day. He was signed to the contract that he's just finished playing with in Washington. Is there a chance that Andrew Magnifying is a Maple Leaf come July 1st, Otis?
I have Mangiapane as well, but
he wouldn't be my first. He would be like maybe 4th or 5th pick for me.
Yeah. I would have Tanev or even Giroux before Mangiapane.
Yeah. So. And what are your thoughts on his play? Would he work in Toronto?
For me, no. I don't think that's the type of guy that they need. Like again, there would be other guys that would go for a first. And if there was nobody left, then I think you take a flyer on him. But I watched him play in the Washington series. I wasn't. Yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our defense, the Leafs defense, I know we did a lot to fix it up last year. Treliving did a great job. We all have to admit that. But there might be that one piece that we're missing. And unfortunately, it might come at the expense, and who knows if he even waives his no move, Morgan Riley. He seems to be the poster boy for the Mitch Marner on the defense, I guess I'd like to say. But what is your thoughts, and how likely is it that Aaron Ekblad is a Toronto Maple Leaf, Otis?
That's another tough one. I would like him on the team. I think he's a very good defenseman still. Yeah, I'm gonna say like 10%, just because I think he wants to go back to Florida as well. He's stated that even before they won, he was saying that he wants to be a Florida Panther for life. So I'd find it very surprising. I don't know how they're gonna get it done, but I have a feeling they're gonna figure it out. At least 2 of those guys will be back with them.
Your thoughts, JT?
He was number one on my list. He comes off a $7.5 million contract. I'm pretty sure he'll probably even want more than that now. If he goes to Florida, he might take a smaller contract. But to get him out of there, we're going to have to pay him more. And that's a big price tag to hit. But I think he shores up our D, honestly. If we could do that and keep what we have, I think he shores up our D.
If there was another defenseman out there, Otis, who would it be, and who would we have to move on from?
Honestly, I don't know, to be honest. Like I'd like to move away from Morgan Riley because I feel like we need a puck moving defenseman, but there's not a lot of those puck moving defensemen available. Unfortunately, you have to give up something to get that, and I just don't know if the Leafs have enough asset to get that number one kind of puck moving defenseman right now, unless they're willing to give up.
I agree with you on that, Otis. That would be one heck of a change of DNA from our defensive standpoint. Would be away from the one player who's been on the Leafs the longest. Yeah. JT, do you have a name out there that you would rather? I mean, if we don't get Ekblad, and obviously that's not likely. Is there another defenseman out there, or are you happy with what we have?
I like what we have, and I know Riley Morgan's taken a lot of beating on a lot of stuff, but he is pretty fast of foot for an older guy. He is pretty steady. His problem is his defensive partner, when he pinches down, I don't think he communicates. There's something going on there because he gets caught on pinches a lot, and his D partner never backs him up. So either they just keep giving him shitty D partners that can't back him, or he's not communicating plays. Like he's just doing stuff haywire. In which case, I think he'd have to go. But the coach, I think, would sit him a lot more than play him. So I don't know. I like Morgan Riley. I like the core we have right now. I would love to see someone like a Makar or that can play like that type of hockey. But there's not many D out there available that can do like that. There's
No,
just not available.
Seems like Vancouver, Montreal got the last two after Makar, and that would be Mr. Hughes and Mr. Hunt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's many more out there. Okay, we're going to move on to the Mitch Marner saga. I know, Otis, you deal with this quite a lot on TikTok. I see your posts, and I feel your pain. Now, do you think, well, obviously we all know that Mitch Marner is not returning. What is the number one team destination do you think that he's possibly looking at? And do you think that it's possible that we're going to do a sign and trade?
I think it's going to be some team out west. So I think like the Kings, Anaheim. Anaheim's making a lot of moves. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Anaheim go out and get him too. So I think it'll be the Kings though, because Kings are close. They just need to play. Getting a guy like Marner, I believe, puts them over the top. As when it comes to a sign and trade, I just don't trust Mitch's camp. To me, why I know it's extra money, but they're helping the Leafs out if they do it. He seems, I mean, there's a lot of rumors that he's petty right now. He's upset about different things here and there. So even though he could get more money, I think he's a little petty. So I think he would just be like, no, I don't want to do it. That's my opinion. So.
Yeah. JT, to Otis's point of Mitch Marner being petty, and at this point, I'm sure we all have that feeling going on in Leaf Nation, and I mean from around the NHL, anyone watching. Now, do you think that Mitch Marner transitions to a shorter deal with a better team like Los Angeles, or I don't know who exactly your team is that you think that he's going to, but do you think he transitions to a 2 or a 3 year that will take him into his 30th birthday and try for a home run that way?
Oh, the saga is the saga. As for him being petty, I think he's being reactive to the pettiness of the fan base and the media.
Agreed.
The fan base and the media are 100% responsible for the loss of Mitch Marner. 100%. He would have rather been here for the rest of his life. He probably would have signed for a smaller contract to stay here and keep this team together. But after what's happened to him in the media and from our fan base, I actually high five him. I hope that he goes off to a contending club and sees us in the finals and lights us up, to be honest with you. I'm pretty disgusted the way everybody treated him. But
yeah, you're right. We're not even mentioning his carjacking experience. I'm sure that's quite awful.
He needs to be out of Toronto. I would love to see him going. I would love to see him go to Chicago.
That'd be a good place to
go in there with a chance. I don't think Chicago has a chance even with him. Do you think maybe that you'll prefer to go somewhere like Otis said, Los Angeles, or the name I'm hearing most, I'm going to introduce it, is Las Vegas.
I've heard Vegas a lot too.
Vegas too.
Yeah, but I don't know if he has the play style to keep up to Vegas. Vegas is a real heavy crash bang team. I just don't see it, honestly. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on a little bit here. We're going to talk about John Tavares. The rumors are that we've gone south of 4 million, so somewhere in the 3.5 million on a 3 to 4 year, which has been rejected. Are we going to get this done? Is John Tavares going to be a Maple Leaf come July 1st, Otis?
Not if they're offering him 3.5. Like, I mean, I know all of us want him to sign for that, but he scored 38 goals last year, 74 points. Like, what are we doing? Like, he's not going to sign that. And if he signs for 4.5 or 5, you're looking at a 6-year deal. I mean, I want John Tavares back because I think he's great, but he's not signing for 3.5. It's just I think if he does, it's going to be a 7 or 8 year deal, which we all know is not going to age very well, right? So hopefully they get it done, because if they don't and he goes somewhere else, the Leafs are in trouble.
Yeah, welcome to Robinus Island, right? JT, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3.5 is insulting. I honestly don't know if the NHLPA would allow him. Like, you can't undercut a contract set like that. they're trying to build contracts and get contracts higher. For somebody to come in and sign something that drastically undervalued, that's I don't know. I don't see that flying at all in the NHL. Never mind with his own agent. But yeah, we need to sign him for more. He's a $6 million guy all day, every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Guys, we have a special guest joining us here with Free Agent Frenzy, Mr. Joe Moyer from 102.9 FM, Stouffville. Joe, how are you?
Hot and sweaty. Sorry I'm late, guys. I got running around doing stuff outside, and my alarm didn't go off, but better late than never, hopefully.
That's okay. That's okay. We're on the special season, special episodes, so we'll give Sean a little bit more fits for our editor for another episode. No problem. We're gonna throw this question right at you. We've been talking about the John Tavares lowball contract, Mitch Marner moving on, and some of the other things. Now, how confident, Joe and guys, you're gonna answer as well. How confident are you in a change of DNA actually happening for the start of next season, Joe?
Well, addition by subtraction, I guess, if you take away Marner and maybe bring in a Marchand or something like that. It sounds like Bennett has no intention of leaving and he's going to stay. But I don't know if that's enough. I think we could use a second line center. And I think you'll see it get a bit tougher, but you're going to lose 100 points from Mitch Marner, so someone's got to pick up that slack. So and Matthew's got a lot of his goals off Marner too. So there's some work to be done for sure to figure out how you're going to replace those points.
And who is your player that you want to see signed? What's your number one player?
Well, I think I'd like to see Marchand give it a shot. He's won in Florida, he's won in Boston, and what a story it'd be for him to not come back to Toronto, but come to Toronto and finish his career here. I mean, the guy had a heck of a playoffs. He could have easily been Conn Smythe winner as well. So, I mean, are you going to give him 5 years? No, but if we can get him on a couple-year deal, that might be the key, because everybody you talk to, when you have him in the dressing room in playoffs, even Florida said we took our lead from that guy. So that says something, right?
Exactly. Otis, I'm going to switch it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
How confident are you in the change of DNA, and how confident are you in it actually working for us, for the Leafs?
So he did a good job with the DNA on the defense. I think the forward group is what he was kind of talking about. I just don't know if there's enough there. Like, they don't have any pieces to trade for, really, unless they're willing to give up Cowan, Danforth. There's not a lot there. So, and even in the free agency pool, they can get some bottom end guys. But in terms of, to Joe's point, replacing Marner, and if JT and Marner leave, if they both gone, the Leafs they're gonna be in scramble mode, and then that's when I think they're just gonna highball for Ehlers. They're gonna go for Besser. They're gonna go for guys that don't fit that DNA that he was talking about, because they just feel like, oh crap, we're in trouble here, right? So I don't know if they can get that DNA done right now. Yeah, unless they're willing to trade, unless Morgan, Nylander are willing to get rid of their no trade agreements there, it's going to be very challenging for him to change it, in my opinion.
JT, same question for you.
Everyone forgets about the Cowan factor as well. Honestly, I think he's ready, and when he comes up and in, he may be the Mitch Marner replacement. He has that ability. He's got the abilities. He does, and he fits the DNA. He has more of a crash bang down your throat kind of play. So I don't know. That's a tough question, but you got to see who is coming up, and you don't want to get rid of assets. Danforth he's a good D. Like, he's big, he's strong. We have some guys coming up in the pipeline that we're going to see a little bit more of, I think, this year. Cowan, I think, is going to make the cut this year. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Now that you guys both have mentioned Ben Danforth, that's my next question. A trade proposal that I see come through the wire is a revisit of Braden Shen, who would automatically go into our second center spot. And it centers around Ben Danforth, a second-round pick, and Pontus Holmberg for 50% retained for Braden Schen's rest of his contract. Joe, everyone's going to have their say. We'll go Joe, Otis, JT. Go ahead, Joe.
We do need to get, our top tier is great, but we do need to get, that's where Florida's got everyone beat their third and fourth lines, and the Leafs don't have it. I'm sorry. David Camp, Carly Yarncroc, even Pontus Holmberg. These are, you could argue even Max Domi. These are guys that just couldn't step up, in the third and fourth lines when we need them. So I think we need to get deeper there. So would a Shen help? Absolutely, as a second line center, and then that can bump some people down. I'd love to see Tavares back as a third line center. I'd love to see him back. I think he still has some value, but we need to get that second line center and get a juggernaut of a second scoring line, and especially now that we suspect that Marner's gone. It's going to be interesting to see who gets on that first line with Matthews and Nyes.
Otis.
Yeah, so I'm conflicted with that because I agree, JT, not giving away prospects like that. But man, I don't know if you guys watched the playoffs. If you saw Shen play, like that's exactly the type of guy that we need. Because to Joe's point, Holmberg, Kemp, Yarmkrok, Robertson, McMahon, there was like 5 guys that scored 1 goal between 6 guys. And that's unacceptable. Like you're not going to win without depth, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I would really contemplate that trade because Braden Shen is it. He may not be what he was 3 years ago, but in the playoffs, man, he checks everybody. He plays hard. That's the type of guy that would really improve our team drastically.
And he definitely has a history with our coach, Craig Berube.
Yeah.
So I 100% see what you're saying, Otis. JT, your thoughts?
Yeah, why don't we bring Braden in and bring Luke back too? We'll get Tanev in there, Braden. It'd be like a family reunion on the ice.
Oh, then don't forget the Nylanders.
And Nylander. Let's go. Like seriously, let's just get every family member on there. But they're all viable options. That's the funny part about it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Both Sheds, Luke and Braden, Luke is wicked on D. I loved him. I hated to see him go.
Mm-hmm.
He was a truck. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what? Let's see if we can get some brothers happening. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
The Nylander one, I'm not so sure about that
one. Yeah, you're probably
One's
right.
Enough.
Yeah. Well, he might replace Kelly Yarncroc for you there, Joe, as you're with him.
My mother.
I'm not a big. I call him Ragnarok, but I'm not a huge fan of Yarncroc. I don't know. He went away, he came back from injury, and I'm like, dude, you're so far behind the back. Like,
yeah, it's horrible.
I'm not a fan.
And if you're not scoring, you got to be doing something else to get noticed.
Something.
And I didn't notice the guy at all.
No.
Something. And he's got more years in. You got like a Bobby McMahon. Okay, he's going out and doing what he can, but he's only got a couple years in the system. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Right. So he's pretty green.
Yeah.
Give him time, and he might become that guy. Maybe next year he is that guy. But Yarncroc, he's had the years in. You know, he's had the years in. You need to do something.
We're going to talk about another guy that is going to be that guy or should be this season. Restricted free agent, Matthew Nyes, and I don't know why the heck he hasn't signed yet. Joe, are they thinking of, and everyone can obviously chime in on this, please, 8 million, thumbs up, thumbs down, what's it take? And does that bring added pressure with a higher contract? Are we going to, fan base and everyone going to expect Matthew Nyes to lead this team?
Who's that to?
Joe.
Well, I think they're waiting to see where Mitch Marner, what's going to happen with that. I'm sure they're waiting for confirmation that he's gone. The last I heard, they weren't even talking. He wasn't returning the Leafs calls, if that's accurate, according to media reports. Who knows? He may just be playing silent until July 1st. And then I think once he's gone, then I think you'll see where the dollars shake out. And certainly Matthew Nyes is the future. I mean, you guys watch the Florida forecheck. Relentless forecheck. We need more of Matthew Nyes that can get in on the forecheck and turn the puck over. Mm-hmm. And like you guys said, Callie Yarncroc and David, these aren't the guys that are going to do that. So we need to get guys that can go in and make some noise like a Braden Shen. So I think they're gonna wait and see where the dollars shake out. But $8 million, if you can get him long term for Nyes,
yeah,
It's a no-brainer. You gotta.
Yeah.
Thank you. Otis, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I heard some foolishness that he was asking for 11.5, which is crazy. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I would do a long-term 8x8. He's a really good, really good with more room to grow. I know people are saying that a lot of it maybe had to do with Marner. I don't think so. I think Nyes is going to be a heck of a player. So I think if they can get 8x8, they should sign that with the quickness, in my opinion.
And JT?
I could see, if we could get him 8x8, that'd be mint. But I think he'd be more than that, I'll be honest. Marner was not a factor with him. If you looked, it was either Matthews and Nyes, or it was Matthews Marner. Wasn't a whole lot of Marner Nyes going on there, realistically. Nyes is his own entity, and he's a monster, and he's a beast. If you can lock him up for 8 years, it might take $9 million even more to hold him there, and maybe you do. If you project that out to where our numbers are going to be, I'm honestly thinking of $10 million on 8 years. In 8 years, people are going to be like, "Wow, that was such a great deal." You know what I mean? If you can lock that kid up for that long. So, in my opinion,
I agree with you 100%. We are starting to time out here, so we're just going to give our thoughts a little bit on the Stanley Cup Finals, Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. I want to start with saying congratulations to the Florida Panthers. I thought they dominated pretty much this whole playoffs, and they were much deserving of lifting the Stanley Cup. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, the better team won. I think Edmonton ran out of gas towards the end, but their third and fourth lines just shut down all the big players. So I mean, they were the best team in the playoffs by far. They are the class of the league, and they deserve to win.
Otis?
Yeah, I mean, they had 9 players that had 15 points or more.
Insane.
Their third line had 55 points, I think it was.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't even close. Yeah, I mean, like Edmonton after the first game, I thought Florida pretty much took over the series. Even though Edmonton won 2-2, I thought Florida was the better team after that. Yeah.
And JT?
the two that Edmonton won, they are actually outplayed in as well. They just got wins on those games.
Yeah.
The only team that gave Florida a run was our Leafs. I honestly think that that second round matchup were probably the two best teams in the NHL heading off against each other. And from then on, it was just Florida walking through everybody. Nobody was going to stop that team. They were just an absolute force to be reckoned with. Like Joe said, their forecheck, like they don't just run a F1, F2, F3. They actually, if you watch their forecheck, I've never seen that before, where they have one guy dump it hard in around the boards, rim it, and then send three guys hard down the other side to pick it up and
it's smart.
It was
not just smart.
That before, and it was beast mode. I think just created so much chaos.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for your time here today. We'll let you get back to your gazebo building up there in Thunder Bay, JT. Joe, your yard work, I'm sure you got a lot more to do, or over to the funeral parlor maybe. Joe right here at 102.9 FM Stouffville, and Otis, our special guest from Sportstalkinthesix, right on TikTok. Thank you guys. My name's Ken Judge, and this is Ken's Corner Free Agent Frenzy Part 1. We'll see you guys right after the next, we'll see what happens in the draft. And we'll talk a little bit about who we pick up. I know we didn't have much time to do that here today. And we'll cover what the Leafs and the rest of the NHL, the surprise moves around the NHL. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. See you, gentlemen.
Peace, guys.